Elon Musk just made some new jaw-dropping announcements. Check this out.
I think there could be tens of billions of Optimus robots out there. Now, obviously, it's very important we pay close attention to safety here, because we do want the Star Wars movie, not the Jim Cameron movie. I love Jim Cameron's movies, but you know, you know what I mean. So, yeah. So we're gonna launch on the fastest production ramp of any product, of any large complex manufactured product ever. And starting with building a 1 million unit production line in Fremont. That's line one. And then a 10 million unit per year production line here on the I don't know where we're going to put the 100 million unit production line. Maybe on Mars, I don't know. But I think it's going to literally get to 100 million a year, maybe even 1 billion a year. You know, people often talk about like eliminating poverty, giving everyone amazing medical care. Well, there's actually only one way to do that, and that's with the Optimus robot. With humanoid robots, you can actually give everyone amazing medical care. In terms of Optimus will be more precise. Optimus will ultimately be better than the best human surgeon, with a level of precision that isn't possible, that is beyond human. So I think that's a pretty wild concept to say, okay, if you know, people always talked about eliminating poverty, but actually Optimus will actually eliminate poverty. Optimus will actually give people incredible medical care. So, I mean, and so you start getting like sort of some pretty wild sci-fi sort of scenarios where, and some of these things I say will obviously be taken out of context and used in snippets and, you know, sent around, but whatever. I'm still going to say them. You know, like I think we may be able to give people a more, if somebody's committed crime, a more humane form of containment of future crime, which is if you say like you now get a free Optimus and it's just going to follow you around and stop you from doing crime. But other than that, you get to do anything. It's just going to stop you from committing crime. That's really it. You know, you don't have to put people in like prisons and stuff. I think it's pretty wild to think of the various of all the possibilities, but I think it's clearly the future. You know, my book recommendation for maybe the best, mostly utopian sci-fi future are the Ian Banks books, the culture books. So if you're curious, like what do I think the future is probably like? I think it's probably a bit like that. Or, you know, Asimov to some degree, but I think it's, and Heinlein, but Ian Banks, if you're like saying, what does Elon think the future probably will be like for AI and robots, it's kind of Banksian. Now, and things do get kind of wild from an economic standpoint. Because at a certain point, with AI and robotics, you can actually increase the global economy by a factor of 10 or maybe 100. There's not like an obvious limit. Like Optimus is kind of like an infinite money glitch. You know, and maybe there won't even be money in the future. or money might be measured in terms of wattage, like how much power can you bring to bear from an electrical standpoint. I guess what I'm saying is hang on to your Tesla stock.
Elon Musk says Tesla will execute the fastest production ramp of any complex product ever, scaling from 1 million to potentially a billion Optimus robots annually. And with AI and robotics removing labor constraints, the global economy could grow 10 to 100x with no obvious limit. Tesla is uniquely positioned to execute the fastest production ramp in history because they've already mastered scaling complex mechanical products, have the manufacturing infrastructure in place, and understand how to iterate hardware at software speed. Elon declares they're launching the fastest production ramp of any product of any large, complex manufactured product ever, starting with building a 1 million unit production line in Fremont, then a 10 million unit per year production line in Texas. Elon then predicts scaling to 100 million a year, maybe even a billion. Now this does sound insane until you realize Tesla is potentially the most suited company on earth to scaling this kind of complex product. They went from building a few thousand roadsters to manufacturing 2 million vehicles annually. They have manufacturing infrastructure that already exists. Tesla has gigafactories in Fremont, Texas, Berlin, and Shanghai with room for expansion. They built supply chain relationships, quality control systems, and testing infrastructure and production line automation. A humanoid robot factory doesn't need to be built from scratch. It can leverage existing facilities and expertise. Importantly, Tesla understands vertical integration. They don't just assemble components from suppliers, they design and manufacture critical subsystems themselves. Battery packs, electric motors, power electronics, even custom AI chips. That's control over the entire stack, meaning they can optimize for manufacturing and rapidly iterate when problems emerge. Traditional manufacturers will be stuck waiting for suppliers to fix issues. Tesla's automotive manufacturing expertise is directly relevant to humanoid robots. Both require precision, assembly of mechanical systems, electrical integration, software flashing and testing, quality validation, and logistics at scale. Tesla's already solving these problems for products with 10,000 parts. Optimus is complex, but it's actually simpler than a car in many ways. Fewer parts, no crash safety requirement, no 100,000 mile durability standards. Tesla's approach to manufacturing is also fundamentally different from traditional companies. They iterate their production line constantly, making thousands of small improvements. They make manufacturing the product, which means they get better at building robots even as they're scaling production. Traditional manufacturers design the line, lock it in, and run it for years. Tesla redesigns continuously. The 1 million to 10 million to 100 million scaling path shows they've thought through the stages. 1 million unit proves the product and manufacturing process at meaningful scale. 10 million units requires supplier scaling and multiple production lines. 100 million units requires global manufacturing infrastructure, which is exactly what Tesla is building for vehicles anyway. So in my opinion, the fastest production ramp ever claim is credible when you look at Tesla's track record. Model 3 went from 0 to 350,000 units annually in about 3 years despite production hell. Model 3 reached high volumes even faster. Gigablin went from groundbreaking to production in under 3 years. They've proven they can scale aggressively when motivated. And also capital efficiency matters too. Tesla already generates huge amounts of revenue from vehicle sales. They can fund robot production scaling without external capital, giving them flexibility competitors lack. Figure AI or other startups need to raise billions and convince investors. Tesla can just build and iterate. Having Elon driving this matters for executional speed. He's famous for impossible timelines that somehow get hit. Production hell on Model 3 was painful, but they got through it. Giga Shanghai went from dirt to production in 10 months. When Elon says the fastest ramp ever, he may well even be underestimating, if anything, based on past performance. In my opinion, the bottleneck won't be manufacturing capability, it'll be proving that the product works well enough that people want millions of them. But if Optimus reaches the capability level and cost structure where demand is effectively unlimited, Tesla's manufacturing advantage becomes decisive. Other companies might have comparable robots, but Tesla can produce 10x or 100x more of them. YouTube isn't just entertainment, it's one of the best client acquisition tools because it builds trust at scale. We've helped businesses grow from scratch to a $100,000 a month just by launching them a YouTube channel. Book a call with me below and let's see how YouTube could help your business scale.